What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the never-ending project. The TT sounds a bit like a Subaru, doesn't it? For those of you following my Instagram, you would have seen what ended up happening to the TT. If you're not following, go ahead, run over there, hit follow at the never-ending project. And yeah, I'll give you guys a quick recap of what happened. So, that is a terminal for one of the pins for my coil pack broken in half, which is really cool. Now, this wasn't the initial issue that ended up happening. I don't know if you can really tell, but the pins on the inside here, that center one smashed in quite a ways, and ultimately they're not making contact with the pins in the coil pack. And yeah, I don't know how that ended up happening, or at least how I wasn't having any issues prior to this. I haven't touched them, and yeah, I was just driving home, and all of a sudden I lost 2 cylinders, and yeah, that was that. So yeah, pulled off to the side of the road, or actually I was gonna stop on the side of the road, and I'm glad I didn't. I went and stopped at a gas station, popped the hood, started kind of messing around with stuff. I wiggled the pigtails, and then I noticed that as soon as I wiggled 2 of them, because I lost cylinders 1 and 4, I believe, and it was all fine and dandy. So pulled the plugs out, looked at them, and yeah, I noticed that at least 2 pins on every coil pack were smashed in that way. So yeah, they just weren't making any contact, and well, I was misfiring like crazy. I ordered new terminals, so I just gotta wait on the mailman for those. So as of right now, can't really drive the TT, which makes me really sad. It's been really nice out lately and would have been really fun to drive it, but nope, can't do that because race car, right? For now, we are going to go back to what my last video was about, and what I failed doing initially. If you guys remember, I ended up trying to pull the motor back, but I had forgotten to undo my my dog bone mount, which kind of defeats the whole purpose of trying to move it, since it's still essentially bolted on and it's not going to go anywhere. So we're going to go ahead and do that real quick, and yeah, I got a few other things I want to do. I ended up getting some fun toys for the TT. This is a Diesel Geek. Focusing, there we go. I got a Diesel Geek short shifter. Now the TT doesn't necessarily, or at least I don't feel like I needed one, but again, I bought an eBay piece, go figure, and that also isn't as high of quality. I don't know if you guys can see it here. Probably not so much. I don't know. I'll show you after I take these coil packs out and get started on installing it. But yeah, anyway, it ends up falling off, completely coming off if I shift too hard. So that's a problem. So to avoid that, I ended up just getting a whole new short shifter, and I'm hoping I like it. Everybody seems to go crazy about it after they buy this particular one, the Sigma6 by Diesel Geek, as I mentioned. So yeah, it'll be, obviously I won't be able to do a test drive, but that'll be what my next video will be about. But yeah, anyway, enough blabbing on. Let's get started with this. So I'm just gonna pull the bumper off, so then we can fit the jack underneath the car. And yeah, I'm gonna get under there, under those bolts, before we do anything. So then that way I can loosen them up, and I'm gonna grab my support bar, throw it on there, and we should be able to move the motor a bit. Alright, so now that these guys are out, we should be good to go ahead and loosen that up and start pulling. Should be able to do the same thing I did last time, except for this time the motor's actually going to move. Alright, so I got the jack underneath. Got this guy. It's hand tight. Now, with the 2 bolts under, or the dog bone mount underneath the car, not bolted up, should be able to this time finally undo those, and let's see how much motion we can get. If you didn't watch the last video, you should probably go watch it. But this is currently how the motor mount sits. So like I said before, you can see how the mount on the transmission itself has got this lip, and you can see, you can see how the mount shifted that way, kind of pushing this corner towards the back. So yeah, we're gonna try to straighten this mount out so it's more like this rather than that. And yeah, let's get going. Put you guys off the tripod. Now if we look at it, we're sitting pretty dead center. You can see the transmission mount on the bottom is pretty much flush with this. So now this is sitting straight since we swivel from here. And yeah, we should be good. Sweet. All right, let's bolt it back up. I don't want to tighten these too much because the mounting block on the transmission is made out of aluminum, so I don't want to risk shearing those threads off. But on the flip side, you obviously want to avoid the initial problem that that we just went through to fix, is when they're not tight enough. So I think that should be good. It's plenty tight. And if it moves again, well, I'll figure something out. Maybe grab some, I don't know. They should move. That was the first time that's ever moved. So anyway, before we move on to installing that short shifter, I'm going to go ahead and finish bolting that dog bone mount on. And yeah, it's amazing how much quicker that went now that, I didn't forget a very crucial piece, huh? All right, there it is. It's all bolted up. Got that. It's sitting on its own. It's sitting nice and stiff now. Not that you can see me moving that anyway. But yeah, so now that we've got the dog bone all installed, I should be able to go ahead and remove that the shift linkage and everything, and putting it back together, it'll align all nice, which is actually why I wanted to wait until I did that before I put the short shifter, since obviously the cables are going to move back and forth since it's mounted onto the transmission, or the bracket, the alignment bracket is sitting on the transmission. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and disassemble that, and let's get that going. So I was going to try to get this AN line out of the way since my shift linkage is right down here. But I don't want to kink it too much. Not that I'm worried about this, but I've got a bunch of vacuum lines, and then I've got a vacuum reservoir down here with a bunch of plastic nipples on there that I don't want to accidentally break. I'm trying to get this thing out of the way. So we're just going to go ahead and do that. And I'm actually going to do something a little different. So I'm going to be doing a DIY both on how to adjust the shift linkage, since I'm going to be removing the stock one, so that'd be helpful for a lot of people. And then I'll also be doing another DIY of the removal of the shift linkage and then installing my Sigma 6. And we're back. I don't know how I feel about it. Now, it feels nice and notchy, but fifth seems really short. I mean, you really don't get a whole lot of angle that way, at least compared to stock. But, the real test is going to be when we start driving it, which unfortunately I won't be able to do that right away. Anyway, let me show you guys what it looks like. It looks pretty sweet. and I'm fairly happy. It was a pretty easy install, nothing really to it. The only thing that I can really think of that might be a negative is when it comes to readjusting the cables, since, you know, it's got these 4 fasteners, and there's really no quick way to get anything in here other than using an Allen and a wrench, so I have to manually do and undo each one, which, you know, whatever, it's not very often you end up having to do it anyway, so it's not like it's going to be a big concern. But yeah, this thing's beefy, like 0 play, outside of obviously moving the shift tower rod, but outside of that, yeah, there it is. I like it. Like I said, I'll do, I'll find out how much I like it after I start driving it, which, like I said, we still got to do this guy, so yeah, we'll do that in the next video. But I'll show you guys here what my other one looked like. It's pretty bad. I come over here. So this is the one that I had bought from eBay. Now you can actually see a lot better here. All that motion, which obviously translates to you shifting or a lack thereof. So this entire socket came loose from all the rubber. Now, what's that saying where they say, you know, buy cheap and you end up having to buy twice? It's true. But this is what I say to that. Buy cheap, and it's an excuse to upgrade. Upgrade all the things. But now that we have that done, like I said, I'll do my initial, I guess, feel, comments. I mean, I don't really want to say like review, because I mean, I guess I can do like a quick review on, you know, like first review. I don't know, I'm just babbling. But yeah, so we'll leave it at that for now. I'm glad I got that done. That's done and over with. Motor's good to go. I think what I gotta do next is I'll be looking into ordering a whole new axle. I actually ended up finding some on Rock Auto for like $46, which they claim they're good quality, but I guess for $46 it's worth a try. And I'll be ordering that, and then I'll also be ordering a clutch, what is it, my clutch positioning sensor. Since I don't know if you guys have noticed in some of my previous videos where I'm actually doing some pulls, at higher RPMs I put the clutch in and the car goes up revs for me. It'll sometimes lock me out of a gear. So I want to get that figured out, so I may be ordering those too. And in about a month, there is going to be another autocross. Now, depending on how that all goes, I may get the car ready to do that. Ideally, that's what I would like to do. But I am also getting married in a month, so time and play money isn't necessarily all there. But I should be able to make it work. Like I said, I'm not gonna make any promises. I would like to do it. They only have room for about 160 drivers. So if I do get it, I'm gonna try to sign up, and they're full, then they're full. But yeah, and then there is also actually a cruise after that, that a friend actually invited me to. So yeah, a lot of stuff happening. So if I don't make it to the autocross, I'll for sure be doing the cruise, whether or not I get that axle. But yeah, either way, we have some exciting stuff coming up before winter comes around. But I'll stop babbling, and we'll call it here for the night. Thank you guys for watching. Like and subscribe. Dislike if you didn't like it. You know, the spiel. But yeah, you guys have a good rest of the night, and catch you guys later.